Welcome back once again, streaming live. I'm Rich Bontrager, the Trigger, and Sandra Dee Robinson is the one waving over, looking all nice and
Good
pretty.
to be here. You know, I have to point out, I've just now noticed that our producer in that last shot of our opening, he's always wearing the same thing.
Well, limited production budget.
You gotta pay him more.
Wardrobe is not working for him yet.
You gotta pay that poor guy, James. James needs some new clothes.
Well,
No,
welcome back,
today we're
everybody.
really
Again, we are
excited.
preparing for the Masterclass coming on up. We've been doing these little streaming segments to better educate you on what's going on.
Yep,
And again, the target is for you ladies. We love the ladies and we want to help the ladies and improve what they're doing, right?
it's so true. And this is my demographic, so it's probably a little self-serving, but 40 and up, or even 35 and up, ladies, we are speaking directly to you. Guys, if you're watching this, hey, you know somebody that this can absolutely help. So please share this as we're going live if there's something, or if you're watching this afterwards and it's recorded at that point. Please do share this with somebody, and it'll show them that you're thinking about them and that you think that they're capable of actually carrying a show. And we're going to tell you today what we discovered about this incredible gap, this opportunity for women to actually create content right now. Specifically, we're talking, we went searching through podcasts, and
Yes.
I know I went down some rabbit holes, and I called up Richard, and Rich was like, yeah, I noticed that too. But like, I spent some time looking for, specifically going to different channels, different
Yep.
streaming channels, and looking for women hosted podcasts. And the statistics proved right. I mean, what I found, right, Rich, is that like only 1/3 of podcasts are hosted by women. Only 1/3.
Right.
Yet 3/4 of the audience is female.
They're consuming, they're wanting it, they're listening, they're watching, but they're not stepping out and being there. And to me, this is a mega gap. This is a huge void that you can fill by
It
stepping
is.
out and learning how to create, host, produce, and get your wisdom out to the world. This is a massive gap for ladies.
And here's the thing that, why are we not, that was my question when I went down this rabbit hole, right? Was like, why are we not representing ourselves? Why are women not stepping up and out? And in our previous lives, we talked about this, and we're not going to spend too much time talking about the excuses or the reasons,
Right. Right.
but a lot of women are actually self silencing, like
Yep.
2/3 of our population is doing. Ladies, this is not what we need to do. We have to have that voice speaking up for what is important to us, because waiting to hear from us. And that may
Right.
surprise you, but we're going to get into that a little bit later. But
Well, and let me just
yeah,
jump in real quickly here because one of the things that I often hear is there's so many podcasts, they don't need one for me. There's so many
true.
streaming shows, they don't need one for me. That stat that Sandra just shared proves to you there's a
Yes.
massive hole for you to fill. So throw that one out that they
Yep.
don't need to hear from you. There's no room for me. It's actually the opposite.
There's
This
actually two.
void,
There's two numbers that I want to share, and one of this was, I know I've given you so many statistics. Rich is like, please stop. But I think it was Spotify alone that was 7 million podcasts. It was well into the millions. These podcasts. That's how many are on Spotify. Just Spotify. The video component is growing. The most popular shows have the video component, and it is the highest growth among podcasts.
yes.
Only 235,000.
Right.
Now, that still sounds like an outrageous number, but look at the ratio. So that's one thing. Actually, talking about doing a podcast with video is automatically going to put you into the genre that is growing. The gap that is going to be shrinking, this gap isn't going to be there forever. I mean, women
No.
are starting to get the idea. If you look around, you see celebrities are now starting to speak out on things like menopause, really, and not anti-aging, but actually aging and relationships. Like, you see an older demographic of celebrities coming out and even getting cast in shows and things. There's an older demographic. This is the time that we should be actually cultivating our own content, putting out there what we feel is important, what we're passionate about, what is on our hearts to actually do, which is why we use the phrase mission focused. I'm talking to mission focused women to be able to really consider this as the time to step forward and do this.
And this gap, again, like Sandra's saying, is here right now, but it will keep being filled. Now,
Yeah.
it will be filled by either good content or bad content. Strong
And You have
personality,
good
quick
content.
personalities. That's part of why we're saying there's a urgency a little bit to jump into this void now for you. So the void is real. The opportunity is real. What we want to help you do in our master class coming on up and going forward is we want you to learn the skills, the best practices, so you do not feel weak or insecure, but you feel confident and more visible.
For sure, for sure. And if you're wondering why would it be so important to do this now? I think that it is since the beginning of time, I think we've probably had older generations look at the younger generation and go, they're so lost, right? I mean,
Yes.
my grandparents probably looked at me when I was sitting in front of the television for hours every afternoon going, she's so lost, right? She needs help. But actually, never has that been more true than right now. And I know that I'm the older generation saying the younger generation needs that support, but
Yes.
they do. And the proof is actually on TikTok. Let's take TikTok as an example. 40 and up, or we're now called senior influencers. Yeah, I'll try not to be offended by that. 40 and up. I know. I know. But what is pushing those senior influencers up to viral isn't this people of the same age. It's
No.
the younger generations that are
Mhm.
finding it helpful to have what they've even said, I look up to these women as mentors, showing how to age gracefully, how to handle social situations, relationships, emotional resilience. I mean, all of these things are what they are looking for. Why are they looking for it? That's a whole nother rabbit hole that we're not going to go down here today. But what is important is you actually have the information that they're looking for. So don't stay silent anymore.
So you're the wise owl. You're the one that's got the years of experience. You got the bumps and the bruises. You got the war story, and you should be sharing that back to the generation coming up because you can help them, and they don't need the waste of time, get all the bumps and the bruises that you and I may have gotten, but it's really they are craving that, and they are craving the word you use word mentorship. They are
Yeah.
craving mentors. They want
Yeah.
people to invest in them. Now they may act cool, they may act standoff, but they're actually wanting this really, really badly. And by you hosting a show, talking about your expertise, sharing your life, you
Yeah.
will gravitate and pull people into your sphere of influence. You will.
And if you're sitting there thinking, well, I'm not really sure what I would do a show on because maybe you have a bunch of different passions, we can help you with that. That's actually part of
Yes.
what we're going to do in the class. We're focusing on our masterclass, just to drop this in here. We're focusing on our upcoming masterclass for people that are exactly where you are. If you're like, I'm not sure what the niche is going to be. I'm not sure exactly what the topic is going to be. We'll help you work that out. That's part of it. If you're feeling something in your heart and you're not really clear on it, that is exactly where we want you to be. We can take people that have great show ideas that have maybe already been doing this and increase their production quality, get them up on a channel. That's actually is Rich's niche right there. We can do that. That's not what this class is all about. This class is actually getting somebody with the idea, think a napkin idea, up to actually within 48 hours having a roadmap to how you can create that show and make it really doable and impactful because people really are looking for you. The time is right now. So it's important that you don't wait. In fact, there is another reason why now is a perfect time for this. I had a little note here, and I don't mean to surprise you with this, Rich, but I'm going to throw this in. I heard recently, I've actually heard on a couple of different other shows that we are in a trust recession. Isn't that
Oh,
a
this is a
great?
big one. Yes, it is.
And you and I talk about this. We don't call it that, but Rich,
Right.
you and I have talked about this multiple times of how we don't trust anyone. In fact, I was listening to XM radio, right? Is it XM radio? Yeah, or Sirius, whichever one we have at the moment. I can't remember. But there was a young host. You could tell he was young, like, listening to like the Pulse or something like that, really like hip music. And he was very young. And he said, because he was so disturbed, he said there was a photograph of Taylor Swift and Miley Cyrus. And like he mentioned, like Selena Gomez and maybe two others. And he's like, we were so excited to see this photograph. And it turns out that it was fake.
Right.
So that that right there is an example. Like he felt so disturbed by that he put it on his show, on his radio show, because that's where we are with everything that we see posted. We stop and go, wait, is that even real? Is that even real? So we are really, really hungry for figures that we can trust and shows that we can go to. And there's a few women that are doing it really well. I'm just going to say, Mel Robbins, shout out to you. You're doing an amazing job. We need more of Mel Robbins. And I don't care if you're not a TED Talk speaker. Okay. You don't have to be a TED. You don't even need a book. If you do, great. That's more to work with. But you don't need that. And whatever niche you feel like your heart is pulling you towards, we're going to talk to you about how to actually make that happen. There are podcast shows for every subject that you can imagine. And you don't
Well,
need a huge audience. You just
well,
need the right audience.
couple things to add in there is you're hitting on boom, 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 boom. I'm gonna make sure we don't gloss over too much.
Yeah.
First of all, it used to be for public speakers and maybe people get the book, get the book, get the book.
Yeah.
That's changed to get your podcast, get your streaming show. This
Yeah.
is now your new authority space. So the
It's
book
true.
has helped a lot of people. This space is now really helping people. No, like,
If you are a speaker though, it's fantastic
oh
because they
yeah,
get to see you walking, talking, interacting, actually doing what you'd be doing in person. It's not just a speaker reel with all the
no,
highlights. They actually get to tune in and see how you handle yourself, which
right.
is awesome.
And then the know, like, and trust factor is really huge. In fact, I just got done recording another episode of Rock the Stage on virtual leadership. The
Yeah.
whole discussion was about what we're talking about. The power of the camera, the mic, and virtual leadership is going up and up because when you learn how to communicate, be real, be transparent, people feel like they know you. Whether it's a virtual studio, whether it's in your home, people get to
Yeah.
know you so much more with ongoing content. Episodic TV is what we're doing with streaming TV shows. We are
Yes.
creating your own show to be episodic. Each
Yeah.
week, you get to know the characters a little bit better, a little bit better.
Yeah.
Each week, they're going to get to know you better and better. Think about how you can leverage that for the trust factor. And
Yeah.
that trust factor is gold right now for people that are really growing and scaling.
Yep.
So instead of being afraid of sharing, you should be excited to share little tidbits of
Especially
your
with
day.
Yeah, especially with everything that we've been saying today about the opportunity, this window that
Right.
has so many different openings that are not going to be open for a very long time because
Right.
it's I think women are wising up and starting to speak up, but this is a great opportunity to kind of feel like I'm selling a direct marketing company, get in on the ground floor. But the ground floor is still open. As I said, only 1/3 of podcast hosts are women. So that is an opportunity to get in, essentially still on the ground floor and make a big difference. I mean, here's the deal. I think that everybody given the chance wants to contribute to society. They want to do work that is impactful. This is a way that you can curate your impact when you curate your own show.
Mhm.
So just food for thought. If you're sitting in the audience right now watching this and you have questions, hey, Rich and I are always available and we're happy to talk to you and see if you are going to be a right fit for the masterclass. Not everybody is a right fit. If this is giving you some tips and some ideas and you're motivated, great. I'm glad that's why we're doing these lives, to be honest with you. I want people to start thinking about possibilities. But if you have questions and you think this really might be a good fit, it's fine to reach out to us. DM us on what LinkedIn, Instagram, even Facebook.
Yep.
You can find us. You can leave comments on YouTube under the video, and you will find us. And you can always find me at my website, sandradrobinson.com. And you search "Rock the Stage," you'll come up with Rich Bontrager. So we're really easy to find.
And you're creating a content catalog for yourself. We've all heard content is king. Video is king now. Even take away content in general, your posts, your memes, your newsletters. Video is really rapidly becoming king for B2B, for keynote speakers, everybody. So this is your content catalog. They can watch, play, replay, rerun, go further. So by launching your own show, you become the expert. You share your wisdom, know, like, and trust, but now you have content to reuse over and over again. So you're not chasing forever.
Which gives me another idea. If you don't have a book, your podcast can actually help you to create a book.
Exactly. I coach and tell
Re-
people exactly how to do
yeah,
that.
reverse engineer that book. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
now you're producing one piece of content that you can repurpose in many different fashions. And one of them way, transcripts. So I can take from all my many different shows. If I wanted to pick a theme out about music, I've done so many music interviews, guitarists, drummers, singers. I could do a whole book and pull out manuscripts, transcripts, and say, here's what other experts say, here's what I add to it, and we can
Yeah.
make a book. And will highlight the other experts that were on the show and give them credit for their great wisdom. There are
Yeah.
so many ways to take what you do and expand it through the power of streaming TV.
And let's talk, just hardcore business here too. There's a way to monetize that.
Absolutely.
So I have one gentleman that was actually quite brilliant. I was on a show, called up, and he's like, "Hey, had a great time with our show." He actually reminded me what the show looked like by resending it to me. Like, yeah, I remember that. It was a while back. He's creating books every so many months, and the guests are participating with a really reasonable price for what you get. Then you get copies of the books. He's created that with the book, but he actually has the guests plugging in a little bit of money to make that even easier. And they're getting, like, if I was to do it, then I would get, now I'm not, because I have my own books coming out. So I actually said no, because the timing just wasn't right. But I do love the idea that he was doing this. And then the guests pay a little bit, not as much as it would cost to get your books printed yourself. And you then have a tool to go and take with you when you're speaking, when you're networking, when you're doing the things that you want to do to make an impact. You have that book to take with you. So there are many different ways that you can monetize a podcast. Do you do it for the money? Not any more than you write a book for the money. You make them all work together. It's really about having a voice and being visible.
And that's where you're the brand. You're the expert,
Mhm.
not your book. You are. Your
Yeah.
book is a tool.
Yeah.
You need to highlight, amplify you. Now, Sandra and I have been doing these together for a long time. We've been working for several years together in different capacities. I want to highlight the fact some people are so nervous, Sandra, about starting. One of the
Sure.
easiest way to do is do a collaborative show where you
Yep.
have maybe a host, an MC, a co-host, whatever you want to design this as.
Yep.
So
I've done
Sandra
that.
and I switch back and forth, but the confidence of having that partner when you, especially starting off, you co-elevate, you
Yep.
co-brand. Now you multiply the attraction factor, but also you have someone there with you because you're afraid I'm going to have dead air. I'm not going to be able to say
Yes.
anything. I don't know what I'm doing. This is
Well, it
much
is.
more
It
fun
is.
and easy and
Yep.
natural than you just staring at a camera by yourself starting
I
out.
I have done that several times for my clients. I've actually started their radio shows, their podcasts with them, and then slowly started to step back and let them take over. And that was one way that we did it. I also go into production houses and I work with people that are co hosting because there's a little dynamic there that isn't always natural that we have to train. And we can talk about that in the class too. If we get people that sign up for the class that want to do a joint show, then that's something that we can talk about. We're really going to bespoke the class in case you haven't been able to tell that. And so that I do think that that's a fantastic idea. And so one of the reasons that people are afraid to start, I wasn't afraid to start. I've done radio shows before, all the way back in Blog Talk Radio. Does anybody remember Blog Talk
Woo-hoo! There we
Radio?
go.
Yeah. Yeah. So I did a couple of those actually. I hosted a couple of those on Blog Talks. That was a really long time ago. And I've been able to jump on your show and have some fun
Yeah.
and do summits and things that are very much like a podcast sort of setup. But I have now, this is what I said in my newsletter today that I was going to officially announce, and I have already done it with a live before, but officially announced to my people that yes, the podcast that I have, the variation of the podcast that I have been threatening to do for a couple of years now is actually going to be happening. So we're going to be recording and possibly live with it by the end of the year. I'm going to do what you suggest there, Rich, and we're going to turn it into a season pretty much.
Yes.
We're going to record a season and make sure that we like it, that it feels good and has a nice flow. And then we're going to make it available. So then people can stream the way we stream our shows. We can sit down and just listen to one after the other. That's what I do when I'm on a car ride. If I'm driving from here to Dallas and it's 4 hours, I'm listening to podcast after podcast after
She's
podcast.
binging. She's a
Yes.
binger.
Yes.
Now, for those joining us late, by the way, the chat's open. Ask questions, comments. We do want to let you know the masterclass is coming up October 15th.
Yeah.
That's going to be 90 minutes, all live. This is not a pre-recorded thing you get. And this is live personal investment. We will be with you. We do have intentional plan, but there'll be flexibility to talk about what you need, what answers you need, what fears you have.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go back to the beginning of today. The opportunity is right here, right now. And again, quote that stat again, Sandra. What's the
Yeah.
stat of what's the percentage?
Only 1/3 of shows that are on air right now are hosted by women. That's a really small percentage for the amount of women that are searching for content, uh, we have a lot of people to serve, and a lot of them are the younger generation. So if it's on your heart to help a younger generation, this is an ideal way to do it. It really is. It's an ideal time. It's an ideal way. We are talking in our masterclass about how to make this really easy as possible, feasible financially. We're not shooting for the stars. We want you to shoot for the stars, but if we're taking you from that napkin idea that, hey, I think I may want to do this, in 90 minutes, we're going to be working with you. And let's be real, this is a virtual event, but it is a live virtual event.
Right.
We are keeping this really, really intimate. There's only going to be a handful of women in this class, and then we're going to close it up.
Yep.
Specifically because I want to spend the time with each and every one of you and make sure that we follow up with you and we support you as you're taking those next steps that are in that roadmap that we're going to be creating for you. It is not our roadmap. It is not Rich's roadmap. It's your roadmap. It's what you are going to do step by step to easily and quickly create a show that is going to do all these things that we're talking about, really give you that voice so you can be seen and heard and very impactful for that next generation.
So that 1/3 stat, think about
Yeah.
this for a minute. Ladies, think about what you can do with a gap that's so huge. If you got in there, shared your wisdom, shared your passion, shared your heart,
Stories.
what would happen with that gap? You're going to rise faster because there's not many of you in there. There's not a lot of you doing this. You will be one of the few shining brighter through the power of podcasting, streaming, TV. So you're not buried. You're actually going to shine faster. The guys, we're swimming uphill all the time now. We're always climbing uphill. I mean, there's so many of us out there. It's the opposite for this demographic. So now is the time to learn how to elevate your brand faster, more sophisticated, and more personally.
I've been looking at some of the studies from Pew Research and another organization called Populous, and it is interesting because now more than ever, loud is not necessarily. It's not necessary.
No.
It's about being visible. You don't need to be loud. This isn't about standing up and screaming what you believe. This is simply finding a space, curating your content, and knowing exactly how to get it out there, how to deliver it. And you can learn this. These are skills.
Yes.
These are skills and strategies. So if you have the idea, we can make this happen. So join us, ask us questions, join us for the masterclass on the 15th. And if you have any questions, reach out to either Rich or I. Happy to answer those questions for you.
And wherever you're watching right now, we did drop in the chat an actual link as well. You can click the link or scan the QR code. We're making it as easy as you can. And like Sandra said, go back to LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, wherever you go, connect with us, and we can make sure we get you this information. We want you to come and join us. So join us on October the 15th, 90 minutes.
Yes, 90 minutes. And I don't want you to be surprised. This is not a free class. Okay?
No.
This is not a free class. We had given previously for the past several weeks, there was access to behind the scenes. You could see what a masterclass was like. This is not a free class. This is a class that there's an investment. It's $497. And if you're balking at that, then I want you to go back and re-listen to everything that we just said. Because $500 is nothing to get what you're going to get. And understand what this roadmap can lead you to. It is the time for you to be visible. And we're just charging a portion of what I think we're worth, to be truthful. But we want to work with somebody that actually sees that vision and maybe doesn't know how to make it happen. That's what we're going to show you. And I would love, 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 love to get you all the way from your idea all the way into a streaming channel, which we can do. Rich has the opportunity to do that. And we can talk about that maybe on the next live. But we'll talk about that step. But we can do that. I would love, love, love to be able to see somebody like you to go from this idea and, hey, I want to make a difference, all the way to following that easy roadmap and actually having something where you can sit back and see that people are being influenced and they're liking your show. They're sending you comments. They're saying thank you and how grateful they are that you're sharing what you're sharing. It's your stories. It's your perspective that is needed more than ever.
So come on and join us October 15th for the masterclass. Come back again for another live coming up. But today we want to let you know the gap. There's an opportunity here for you. And we would love to help you jump into the gap, be seen, be heard, and amplify your message even bigger and bolder with the power of streaming TV.
Yep.
That's Sandra Dee Robinson.
That's me.
On the Trigger, Rich Bontrager. We'll see you back here next time and hopefully see you on
The 15th.
Wednesday, October 15th.
Thanks for being here.